Hey everybody, welcome back to the Myth Impressions channel, home of Steampunked Out, Nemesis Gear, and of course the Knox Hollow Wood Shop. And it's been a little while since we've been in the wood shop, so yeah, we're back. And I've been a little remiss this year. We've had a lot going on. I got really busy with some 3D printing projects that I was trying to get done over the winter, and I had people waiting on parts and stuff. So then the spring show season hit, and I did make a whole bunch of wands. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to video any of those, but I do have some coming up that I'm going to do as well for all you wand making fans. But I did manage to get some footage of this creature, and this is going to be my personal wand. I'm keeping this one because I'm tired of making wands and thinking maybe I don't want to sell this. Maybe I want to keep it for myself. So I started this one with the idea that I am keeping this one for me, and that means I can do whatever I want on it, and it doesn't matter. So I managed to find a little piece of the Gaboon Ebony that I had. It's if you haven't seen the other videos, it's a rather rare and expensive wood, and I had a piece that was just barely long enough, I thought, to make myself a handle from ebony. So in order to do this, what I've done so far, I've just gotten this down into the round, but it's just doesn't have enough to put a tenon on both sides and everything else. So what I've done is I've gotten into the round, and then I'm going to put my stabilizer here on this, because what I'm going to do is do a two-piece wand, and I'm going to put drill a hole in the grip of the wand, and then I'm going to turn the shaft separately out of holly. Which I went back to the hardware, or the hardwood supply store, and bought the last of the holly that they had, because it was such a nice wood to work with. It was difficult to work with, but it's such a nice wood as far as looks go. So I wanted to get plenty of that for the future, because I wasn't sure when I was going to find it again. Um, Anyways, so what my plan is here is to drill out this handle, and then I'll put a tenon on the shaft of the wand, on the blade, and then I'll join those two pieces of wood. The problem is with this handle is it's really not long enough to have the tenons on the end to work it, because you have to have enough on either end to cut off and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drill this out, and then I have to take a scrap piece to make a tenon for it, that will fit so that I can continue working this. So that's what we're going to do here. And of course, the first step is to get the hole drilled, but then I've got to set this up for the shape that I know generally what I'm going to make the tenon go on the holly wand. So what I'm doing now is I have the hole drilled, and I've got to kind of round that out, because I'm going to do sort of that teardrop shape close to the base of the blade. And so I'm going to work this, kind of round it out just a little bit here with the carbide, so that way I can get a good mated surface on that to join that up. And then we'll clean that up, and then we'll go into making a temporary tenon to use to keep this centered. Now the trick is to make this temporary tenon. I just have a piece of scrap walnut here, and so what I've done is I've got it rounded out and centered up nice and even there. And now what I have to do is make the piece of walnut with the tenon on it that's going to fit the hole that I've drilled in the handle, and that way that's going to basically temporarily extend the length out on the piece of ebony, so that I've got something to kind of put into the chuck and stuff like that, and keep everything centered and straight while I work the shape of the handle. So after a bunch of test fitting and sanding, I've got the temporary tenon out of walnut set up, and as you can see, I've got the handle back on here, all lined up. I wanted that tenon nice and tight and snug in there, because I wanted everything to be, really well aligned, so that now I can actually work on cutting up and shaping this piece of ebony. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm just kind of making sure that everything is now recentered on that new tenon and cleaning up the edges and stuff, and then we'll start our shaping process. Now, you might have noticed there at the bottom of the screen that the little watermark has changed. So that's one of the other things that I've been working on. And I do have the Go Imagine store open now. That's goimagine.com/slash myth impressions. I've got quite a few things on there. The Etsy store is still open. For now, I may be changing what's in the Etsy store, but I know a lot of the items that are in Etsy or were in Etsy, the leather goods and stuff, are now on the Myth Impressions on Go Imagine, and the prices on the Go Imagine shop are a little bit cheaper. So you might want to think about that if you're thinking about getting any of the leather goods. You can probably get a little bit better of a price on the Go Imagine store because they do not cost as much as Etsy does to have a shop. Anyways, back on this ebony handle here, we've got our shaping going pretty well. You can see that the grip itself, I'm really planning on doing a really simple shape there because I am going to do a twisted wire inlay. So I'm just using the wire tool to do some friction burns in here to kind of separate those out. And then we do a bunch of sanding to get this polished up, at least pre-polished. We're going to do some more of that later. And yeah, so obviously, as usual, I edit out a ton of sanding because there is a ton of sanding that is done, and it's rather boring. So we're just polishing this up. But yeah, ebony just looks absolutely gorgeous when it's polished. It does take a really high shine. It's a really dense wood. It's a little bit difficult to work, but I just love it. So anyways, I did skip out on the actual making of the shaft of the wand. It's really straightforward. I just made a round shape, and then you can see I kind of did a teardrop shape and put a tenon on it to fit into the handle, and then you just saw I took off the little support rest there because I put that on to keep everything centered overnight while the glue was drying. So now that I've got the shaft mated with the handle, I'll be doing some shaping on the shaft later on the sanders and stuff, and we'll kind of show you what it looks like when that part's done. But now we just move into a whole ton of sanding again. We're just, now that these are mated up, we got them all cleaned up, and we're just gonna do a bunch of sanding and polishing. As you can see, I've got going all the way up to like a 2500 grit, and then we'll move on to doing a wire inlay. So if we're getting our wire inlay, it's pretty much the same process in the beginning as putting in the spiral wood burns. And what we'll do is I've got my indexing wheel on here, and I'm just marking out basically a grid around this with horizontal and then circumference lines around the handle, and I'm just going to draw in where the spiral is going to go. And I've decided, how many different strands of wire I'm going to use on this. And then once we get our lines all in there, we'll start off with the wood burner. This, like I said, this is a really dense wood. It's difficult to work, so I've actually got the heat turned up on this, and I found that you can actually almost see that tip glowing. It's a little bit hotter than it should be, but it just takes such a long time to get a decent groove started in this. But I found the wood burner actually works really pretty well to get the line started and get an even line to follow the pencil lines that I've got marked on here. And the difficult part is to get the wire in that groove. It really needs to be a little bit deeper. So I ended up having to come back in with a file and file the grooves even deeper in there as well. So, but with the wood burning on there, wood burning those spirals, it gave me a good starting point to trace the lines with. That way, I could work that file and straighten up all the grooves and make them deeper for the wire. If you've watched this far, you might as well slide on down there and hit that thumbs up button. That sure helps out the channel when you like the video. And don't forget to subscribe as well. I post when I can, what I can, so I don't have a set schedule. So you'll want to be notified when I get some new content up. So now that we've got those grooves all in there, I did a little bit of sanding. I'm kind of cleaning this up, and I've kind of laid out, to make sure that wire twist that I have, and this is going to be argentium silver. It's not cheap, but I did get enough to do my own wand. I actually have a little bit of extra. I don't know if I'm gonna do this again. It's really expensive, and it really makes the price of the wand go up. So maybe if I had a custom order or something. But one of the problems that I found with this stuff is the glue does not want to adhere very well to the ebony, and so that was a that doing the wire wrap on this really took a long time, and the glue just it didn't want to stay in the groove, it didn't want to stick, and it really kind of got all over the place, and so the cleanup on it was really time consuming as well. But as you can see here in a second, I do manage to get all the wire set in there. You saw me drill the holes at the top and bottom, and that's for that wire to go down into the handle before I do the wrap. That makes sure that it stays nice and tight on there. And then it's just again, a lot of cleanup on this, and I'm kind of doing some sanding in here as well. And then I'll have to go in and kind of clean the silver, because the silver dust is also now being sanded, so it's getting rubbed all over the handle as well. So anyway, a lot of cleanup, but overall that was fun. What's also been fun is learning a bunch of new editing software. Thank you very much, Adobe. I've been using you for nearly 30 years, and I've been trying to get away for a while. And now with your price increases, I am out of here. So yeah, I've been learning some new software and stuff, because Adobe no longer caters to the small independent artists. They cater to the large companies that exploit those artists, and I'm done. I'm not paying the prices anymore. So anyway, so now I've got all the wire done. I'll get off my soapbox there. Apologies. And I've got the wire wrap in, and we're going to go to the sander now. And I went ahead and sanded facets on here. Because I wanted facets on my wand. So I've got a faceted pommel and a faceted blade, and we'll go and clean that up just with some hand sanding and sanding blocks. And you can see now that I've got that done, and it's all polished up and sanded smooth and fine and even, and I've got an oil coat. Again, I prefer that nice just oil and wax finish. And yeah, so this one really turned out well. I'm really happy to have my own wand now instead of just grabbing one off the shelf. It shows to put with my costume. So I will now have this, and you can all drool and beg me to make another one. I probably won't. No, just kidding, just kidding. Anything for the right price, right? Anyways, here's a close-up of how that looks on my little stand here. Hopefully the image is coming out nice and clean there. But I hope you enjoyed the making of this wand, and as much as I enjoyed making it. And we'll hope that you'll join us for more videos in the future. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.